Good morning, children. Today we are going to study about pollution, chapter 19 and 20. Chapter 19 is effects and chapter 20 is preventive measures. So, in the previous chapters, we studied what is pollution, what are the pollutants, and the sources of pollution. So, this chapter we are going to club and the same sheet or on the board, we are going to see the effects of pollution and the preventive measures. So in the previous chapter, we studied about the sources from where all these pollutants are coming and how it is going to affect human beings, plants, aquatic life. That's what is on top of the earth, isn't it? First, how it affects human life, then how it affects the soil, then how it affects the plant life, then how it affects the aquatic life. So here we are going to study about how air pollution affects human beings, that is acidification. First we will study about acidification, that is sulfur dioxide plus water sulfur dioxide combines with water droplets that make up clouds and they form acid rain. Now when this acid rain falls onto the earth, into the atmosphere, when it's coming to the atmosphere, it just erodes. First it falls on the buildings, it erodes monuments. We studied that it causes a lot of harm. For example, Taj Mahal and all, it's now slightly color and all has been changed. Then when it falls onto the earth, it destroys vast stretches of natural vegetations, harm animals in the long run, and even can cause health problems to human beings. And when it falls in the soil, it causes a lot of problems in the chemistry of the soil, making it unfit for living beings. That is, so many plants, so many human beings and all depend upon this fields or crops, isn't it? Now acid rain also changes the chemistry of lakes and streams where the rainwater flows into it. They can harm fish and other aquatic life. So the effects, when we are studying the effects also, how it is affecting the air, how it is affecting the water, how it is affecting the soil, that we studied here in acidification. Now eutrophication. Eutrophication means what? When the rain carrying deposits of inorganic nitrogen and carbon dioxide gets into large lakes and other water bodies, what happens? A lot of algae and phytoplanktons are growing. That is, this algae and phytoplanktons use these inorganic nitrogen and carbon dioxide from these water bodies as food, and they spread in vast stretches, thus not entering oxygen or heat or light to enter into the water body. Thus what happens? The aquatic life dies. All the fishes, microorganisms, plankton, so many microorganisms are there on which the fishes feed, isn't it? So when the microorganisms dies, what happens? The fishes also die. So acidification and eutrophication is very, very important. Next is ground level ozone. The ozone layer is in the stratosphere, but there is ozone layer very close to the earth, that is near the troposphere. So it is said that ozone is good up high, but nearby ground level ozone, which is considered to be bad ozone, is one of the major atmospheric problems. It causes a lot of problems to human beings, like health issues. It causes like bronchitis, coughing, throat irritation, congestion, asthma. Asthma and all, it's a very, very severe health issues, and they can't breathe properly because of the contaminants in the and they become very weak and skinny, and they have a lot of issues, isn't it? Now particulate matter which is hanging or suspended in the air causes a lot of eye problem to the eyes, and when you breathe it enters into your lungs and it causes a lot of problems to the eyes, nose, throat and upper respiratory infections such as bronchitis, pneumonia. Long-term health effects can include chronic respiratory diseases, lung cancer, heart diseases and damage to brain, nerves, liver and kidneys. Now we also study about greenhouse effect, because you studied in biology also. So many times 8th standard also you studied about greenhouse gases or greenhouse effect. What happens when the sunlight comes into the earth, the land gets heated and the heat radiates back. Only then there will be heat balance. All the heat which has come down has to go back. When it is like that, It is a heat balance, but there is no balance here because once the heat is trying to go back into the atmosphere in the night, what happens? All the gases are there suspended in the air, and they just holds this heat, not allowing them to disperse into the atmosphere. This leads to global warming. And what happens due to global warming? The ice melts, islands sink, and lot of issues are rising due to this greenhouse effect. Now let us see about water pollution. Now let us study about water pollution, death of aquatic life. Again, we study that when water is getting contaminated by all the pollutants from the industries and from the domestic house, that is from the sewage, all this water enters into the rivers or streams or finally into the ocean. So what happens? It can result to the death of large number of species of birds that depend upon variety of marine organisms and fishes as their food. So aquatic life will also die, and the birds depending upon that aquatic life will also get extinguished. Now disruption of food chains. Though aquatic life is very much a part of food chain, within aquatic ecosystem there's a long strong interdependence of food chain. That is, you study the food chain, isn't it? When these microorganisms die, the fishes die. When the fishes die, the birds can't come and feed on them, and the birds which feeds on this particular fish dies. Like that, it is a chain. It is a chain, and finally, what happens? The big birds like vultures, they die, and then so many imbalance happens there in the atmosphere. So here also there's a lot of death of aquatic life, such as death of dolphins and seagulls, etc. They are getting extinguished from the surface of the earth. Now ailments. We study there are so much of ailments. When water get polluted, no, you get hepatitis, cholera, diarrhea, typhoid. That's why we most of the houses have new water treatment systems. Through that you process and take water, AquaGuard, etc. so that you can give pure water to your children. Otherwise every day they'll be having stomach ache and stomach problem and diarrhea and etc. Now destruction of ecosystems. Polluted water can already lead to extinction of number of aquatic species, and many more are at the verge of extinction. Now what happens? Releasing untreated industrial water waste into rivers in many parts of the world has severely affected the ecosystem. Now what the government have found out this, and now they have set up many plants where the dirty water has been treated first, second, third time treatment has been done, and then only the water is let into the oceans. Now let us see or study about soil pollution. Health risk, degradation of ecosystem, loss of animal life. Now let us study about soil pollution. Now we studied about water soil pollution we studied. What are the pollutants of soil pollution we studied. We also studied the sources of soil pollution, from where which source it is coming. Now what are the effects of soil pollution? Because of the soil pollution, lot of health risk, degradation of the ecosystem, loss of animal life. So it's again the same thing. Here only water has been emitted because it's on top of the soil, isn't it? Water body they've emitted, because already we told you about water pollution. So soil pollution means health is a great risk, because here we understand that again health risk. How is health risk related to soil pollution? What are the effects of soil pollution on health? See, when we grow a lot of food on this soil which is contaminated, and the crops which we eat, all the chemicals passes into our body, isn't it? Consumption of food grown on such soils poses a great threat to human life. Being in contact with soil polluted by the presence of heavy metals such as arsenic, lead and chromium is largely responsible for the growing cases of cancer, birth defects and leukemia. Because when we eat the foods grown in such soil means all these chemicals are there in the soil, and the crops grown into the soil we eat, and the body is so subtle, isn't it? So what happens? It soon affects our body and organs, and then we get cancer, leukemia, etc. In home gardening, there's a growing trend of using only organic methods to avoid the danger of noxious pesticides. So now people are going into organic farming, and people are all the people during this pandemic, they started growing their own vegetable garden, isn't it? Most of y'all must have done that, so that we can at least get few vegetables for our daily need. Now, degradation of ecosystem. Degradation of ecosystem means soil contamination is often the result of leaching from landfills. The release of untreated industrial waste, occurrence of acid rain due to the excessive air pollution, nuclear fallout, fuel dumping, oil spill on land, etc. See, in what all ways they are trying to pollute the land. Industrial waste is coming, acid rain is falling onto the land, nuclear fallout is there, dumping is there on top of the earth, all the waste, and oil spill on land is there. So soil pollution results in low crop productivity and stunted growth of plants. It also results in reduced atmospheric nitrogen fixation, erosion and imbalance and in soil flora and fauna. So naturally, degradation of ecosystem is naturally there has to be plants growing, flora and fauna has to be there, plants and animals has to be there. But because of this degradation, naturally nothing is coming up, everything is getting stunted and no new growth is coming up on the earth. So this will cause this is a great risk to the environment and as a earth as a whole. Now, loss of animal life. We studied that different types of animals are getting extinct. Even we studied aquatic life, dolphins, etc. are getting extinct. Now, that is, polluted infertile soil increases the cost of dairy farming as it may reduce the yield. In extreme cases, it may even lead to the death of domestic animals and herbivorous wild animals. Reduction in the herbivorous wildlife has a direct effect on the carnivorous animals, because the carnivores feed on this herbivorous. If they die, then these animals also will naturally get reduced in the long run. Now, one thing which is always affecting us directly, day-to-day life, we're not that much aware of air pollution and water pollution. It is affecting us in a very big manner, but day-to-day life, noise pollution is very much direct, I think. So because it causes a lot of problems to the hearing loss is there, effects on general health, sleep interference, impact on human behavior. So what happens is, when there is a lot of noise pollution, what happens? People don't get proper sleep. Good sleep is often said to be the nurse of healthy life. So they say that to have good life or good healthy body, you should sleep well. If you don't get a good sleep, then everything is gone. Understood? So noise causes a lot of problems like sleeplessness, increased stress level leading to cardiovascular diseases, elevated hormone levels, psychological problems, and even premature death. See, sometimes some people, for crackers and all, they don't like to hear this noise. Palpitation will be there, heart will be beating very fast. Then their ears, for old people and all, they can't stand the loud noise. So in case of animals and birds, prolonged exposure to high decibel noise can even lead to the death, because small birds, they will not survive. The most common effect of noise pollution can be listed as deafness, that is caused due to high decibel noise. The deafness can be caused. Then rupture of the inside the eardrum. Rupture of the eardrum is also a big problem. Now, effects on health, general health. That is, they include anxiety and stress. Psychological outcome can be headaches, nervousness, irritability, decrease in human productivity, feeling of fatigue. എപ്പോഴും ഒരു ക്ഷീണം തോന്നും, fatigue, and every time headache. You can't stand. You want to have a peaceful atmosphere always, isn't it? Listen to very mild and soothing music, not that heavy ones. You once in a while we used to, but quite often we cannot listen to hardcore music, isn't it? So for sleeping and all, we need a soothing music. So noise has to be in a very minimum level only then we'll be able to adjust to that sound. Now, impact on human behavior. As noise pollution disturbs sleep and mental calmness from all angles, it results in poor attention and concentration, nervousness, negative behavior pattern can make one impatient and short-tempered. So people become very angry as soon as you talk. They get irritated. That means they're short-tempered, and they have, every time they have a negative attitude. They keep a very bad face, and you don't feel like mingling with such people, isn't it? So noise affects us very directly. Day-to-day life, you should be always away from the noise. While you're sleeping, you should have a calm and peaceful sleep. Next is radiation pollution. It causes cancer and birth defects. This is there on earth because we have this nuclear power plants and all those things, and testing of nuclear weapons and all those things. But it can cause, it also causes cancer and birth defects also. That once happened in Hiroshima, Nagasaki. The same thing we studied in the previous chapter also. So exposure to small amount of radiation for a longer period of time also can lead to serious life-threatening diseases. Some of the common effects are cancer and then birth defects. Birth defects means when you give birth, children have mental retardation, and some newborn babies, they are physically disabled and handicapped also. Understood? So these are the things which are caused due to the pollution. These are the effects of pollution. Now let us see the preventive measures on the other side. Now, one preventive measure you can do is to avoid air pollution is, or the effects of air pollution is, you can do carpooling. Carpooling means what? From one locality, everybody, few people go to one particular place for work, maybe to the same office. So you can just they can form a group, and one person can take a car and 4 or 5 can travel in that particular car. Or you can take one van, and then all those people can you can take the money, share, and then give to the driver and take one vehicle and go. Understood? So congestion is avoided, the fuel is left, fuel consumption is less, and also reduction of air pollution. Each car emits pollution, isn't it? So one car will certainly emit less pollutants than the combined effect of multiple cars. So many cars going together can reduce the emission of pollutants into the atmosphere. So carpooling is one good effective method to reduce the pollution, air pollution. Money is also saved through this. That is less congestion on roads. As I told you, there is less congestion. So you can sit in the car and then you can discuss business, because so many people are traveling together and gathering new and helpful information. When you are traveling together, so many people travel together, you get a lot of information from others. So promotion of the feeling of brotherhood and cooperation. So when you're going together, you get good friends and you're happy with them traveling, saying jokes, and rather than traveling alone, being moody and thinking of all sorts of things and getting tensed, isn't it? So if the same colleagues are there in the car, then or in the jeep or van or whatever it is, you have a good mood talking to them and discussing certain things. If you want to, you can plan so many things. Now, promotion of public transport. That is, promotion of public transport means nowadays, due to this pandemic, otherwise you can, if long distance and all, you can take public transport. That is, we have the low flow buses. See, some good, like, normal salary class, above salary class, certain people are there with higher cadre jobs and all. They all want to go. Nowadays everybody wants to go by their independent cars, isn't it? Nobody wants to travel in other or transport vehicles or trains and all. Long distance also they are purchasing big cars and they're traveling by big cars. So you should allow them or promote them to travel by public transport. So some people, they won't like to go like normal bus and all, they won't like to go because there is no AC. They are used to go in AC vehicles. So now there is low floor bus and all from here to Ernakulam, from here to Guruvayur, so many places. So if you get into that, you can pay little extra, not that much as you have to give for the fuel or pay for the fuel, a little less compared to that, or little high compared to KSRTC bus, and then you will get a comfortable travel. And then everybody going such buses, and the congestion will be less on roads. So we have to promote people to use public transport. Now there has to, another thing is to avoid pollution is no smoking zone area. Everywhere we have to have no smoking zone areas. That is in foreign countries and all, they have a particular area in railway station, bus stand, and so many other places, bus stops and all, they have this parking area where a symbol is made and you have to stand there. You have to, if you want, you can smoke and then put the butt in that particular what it is, waste bin, and then you have to move away from there. When you step out of that particular circle, you cannot again smoke. So that is also good. Now restricted use of fuels. Restricted use of fuels means what? Now next is restricted use of fossil fuels. The use of fossil fuels raises the level of pollution in the environment. Thus they are restricted use in the interest of society as a whole. Various ways of restricting the use of fossil fuels. Use, as I told you, use public transport, adopting the practice of carpool. Again they are saying the same things. Switch off engines at traffic signals. Using solar cooker for cooking. That's a good idea, as now everything is becoming solar lighting, and the road also solar, and in your house also to cut off the expense, we are using solar panels we are placing, and then hot water and all we can use through solar, using solar panels. Now taking extreme care in the storage and transportation of the use of fuels. Now saving energy. We get energy from different sources: atomic energy from atomic reaction, hydropower from flowing water, thermal power plants you get from coal or oil, and one of these atomic reaction is more complicated process. Therefore it is mainly used in the developed of a few developing countries like India. Hydropower is mainly generated in hilly areas. So we get thermal power, so many types of power, that is from flowing water, hydropower. Then from thermal power plants we get thermal power, and like that we get a lot of power. So all this has to be used, and then you see that you have to take certain preventive measures at the same time. See that they are not harming the environment in any way. As a result, hydropower is generated at limited locations. Thus, the most extensively used source of energy is thermal power, which is obtained from the burning of coal or crude oil. Now, wind energy, tidal energy, all that is there, that all those things does not emit any gas into the atmosphere. They are all good. Geothermal energy, but these sources are costly. Understood? Compared to electricity, these are very much costly. As a result, there is a limited use. With the development in science and technology, these sources of energy are becoming cheaper and their commercial use is being promoted. Nowadays, recently we saw in the news that the government has come up with electric cars. And there is electric stations like a fuel station, no, where you get from petrol pump, you fuel your car. In the same way, certain areas, certain districts you go, and there is a station where you can go and refill, and then you can go away without the other fuel. That is, it runs in electric. That is electricity, and then you can charge it and you can drive your vehicles. The next is encouraging of organic farming. Encouraging of organic farming is a must nowadays, because people are all into organic farming. People are educated. They knew the disadvantages of the other farming, using of pesticides and chemical fertilizers on the soil. So it is eco-friendly and harmless and useful to insects and earthworms. It is cost effective. Quality of the agricultural products will become good, especially fruits and grains. Daily we have to take fruits. We have to give our children fruits, isn't it? And animals also, when they eat the plants, they have to give good milk. Only then we can give that milk to the children, isn't it? Then, thus more and more people prefer to purchase the products of organic farming as it is essential for the sustainable development of agriculture. So this chapter is over, children. You can just make a comparative study. Now I may have made two charts, two divisions I have made. So you can take a paper and you can make 4 divisions. First is what is pollution and what are the pollutants. Then you can write in one column, you can write all the sources, in one column all the effects, and in one column all the measures, preventive measures to avoid this pollution. So this chapter, these 4 chapters are very, very important to score marks. It's a very simple chapter. Again and again the same thing is repeated. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.